Hello, wonderful people. I'm in South Africa now visiting my family, and it crossed my mind that a lot of people have been asking me about how I've been doing and what I've been doing, where I was on my trip, and if I've had a good time. And yes, I've had an amazing time. And I thought I might just share a few things that have been happening and what I did on my trip, where I went, a little bit of what I experienced. I mean, I can say what I experienced and where I went, but it wouldn't do it justice at all. I would never be able to explain to you what I have experienced, especially on the inside. The shift that has happened within me. But I will try, and I will start with Canada. So, before I had even chosen to go to Canada, I stumbled across this video when I was on my Tumblr. This girl had put up a video of a girl called Leia. And there are certain times in life where you press that button or you watch that video or you call that person and you don't really know why, and then you realize afterwards, you're like, oh, okay, I understand. And Leia was one of them. I pressed the video and I started watching, and I realized very, very quickly that she was a soul sister, and I had to meet up with her. Now, little did I know that she was having a retreat in Canada very soon. Unfortunately, when I was looking at her website, it was all full. There were no more spaces for the retreat. And I was a bit upset, and I was like, I wish I could have gone to see her. But then, only a few days later, turns out that someone had cancelled and she had one space left. And so I decided to write her a message and tell her about what I experienced. Tell her that I don't know why, but I have to meet you. And we Skyped. And I can't remember how many hours we spoke for. But literally a lot of things in our life correlated, and we had a lot of similarities with things we'd gone through, and some things were pretty freaky. I must admit, I was a bit freaked out by certain things that were the same. Nevertheless, it was an amazing experience talking to someone and realizing you have so much in common. So I ended up going to Canada to this retreat in Vernon, British Columbia. Fantastic place. And not only did I find a soul sister, but I found a soul tribe. And I realized very quickly that being at this retreat was very special. And sure enough, we all bonded. Everyone that was at the retreat gained. It was almost like you gained a piece of your own heart back by meeting those people. I can't put into words, but it was an amazing experience. I did very cool things when I was there. I did some healing work, something called repatterning, and something else called biofeedback. Both very spiritually healing. If you want to know more about it, look it up online. It is really, really trippy stuff. Really awesome, powerful stuff. So after I went to Canada, I went to visit my other soul sister, Kristen, who I had met in Paris the year before when I was studying analog photography. Kristen and I, when I was in Paris, we met, and I saw that she had a Buddhist book by her bed, and we started talking about that, and after that we just became amazing friends. And we always, after when we left, wanted to meet. So when I decided that I was going to do this trip, I thought to myself, well, I'm most likely going to be flying through New York anyway, so why not go visit Kristen? And so I did. And it was awesome. And not only did I get to meet Kristen, but I got to meet all of her really lovely friends. So that was a real blessing. And we got tattooed together, and I couldn't have asked for a better New York trip. Having said that, I didn't do a lot of the touristy things when I was in New York. I didn't go to Times Square. I spent most of my time at Union and in East Village. I just didn't. I didn't feel like going to Times Square, really. I was having a good time where I was. So after New York, I was in Costa Rica, and that was where my main shift, internally and externally, that's where it occurred. I was staying with a man called Eric Rifkin at La Joya del Sol, which means the Jewel of the Sun, and it's in a rainforest, and that's where I stayed for a month. And we were drinking water from the waterfalls, free electricity, pretty much free food. And what an incredible experience connecting to Mother Earth in that way again. Really getting to not just get to know her externally, but from consuming the food that she has to give, and the living water. That's one of the things I miss most. The water. Realizing how sacred water is and how important it is to be drinking clean water. It was such a teaching, such beautiful lessons learned when I was in Costa Rica, and such beautiful people I got to meet. The nature, the people, amazing. After I was in Costa Rica, I went to Arizona. Now, there's a funny story behind Arizona, because before I left, I think it was about a year before I even decided to go on this trip, I had put a picture of David Wilcock and David Wolfe, which are two people, quite famous people that I've been reading a lot of their stuff for quite a long time, and I really like the work that they do. And so I put both of their pictures on my vision board, hoping that one day I would get to meet them both. And so whilst I was, doing some research on where I should go and what I should do on my trip, I stumbled upon a retreat seminar thing that was going to be in Arizona, and lo and behold, David Wilcock and David Wolfe are going to have a seminar together. So that made me really happy, obviously, and I couldn't miss that opportunity. So I decided that I was going to go to Arizona and go to this. I did, and I got to experience a lot of very cool things. They were both, so awesome. Probably more awesome than I expected them to be, which was really fun. I got to do some healing work there as well. I did something called a dolphin dance. I can't really explain what it is. This woman had a clamp on my nose to stop water from coming in my nose, and a woman was holding me underwater and swirling me around underwater from time to time, lifting me up so I could breathe, but it felt like being in the womb again. It was a very interesting experience. And before that, in Costa Rica, I forgot to mention, I did a soul revival. And in that soul revival, I was told that my spirit animal is a dolphin. So when this woman ran up to me in Arizona going, would you want to do a dolphin dance? I just was like, yeah, I would love to do a dolphin dance. And basically, this place in Arizona was a hot spring in the middle of a desert, and there is no experience like lying in a hot spring on a cold night, looking up at the stars. Incredible. I did something else that was really cool in Arizona. I got my palm read for an hour. That was very cool. Really emotional. Really, I was. There were things that I was holding on to that I really didn't know I was holding on to. So that was a very cool experience. And after Arizona, where did I go? I think I went to Hawaii after Arizona. Hawaii, what can I say about Hawaii? I was there for a month, and I got to Hilo, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I hadn't booked a place to stay. I did, I had no idea what I was going to do, and it felt so refreshing. So I hitchhiked from the airport to Hilo Bayfront and asked around, to find a hostel, and I found one close by, and I threw my bags in and just decided to explore Hilo for a little bit. And first thing I find is a kava bar, and I'd been introduced to kava when I was in Canada when I was having tooth pains, and they said, oh, just rub it with kava and it'll be fine. So I went in, sat down, and the guy who owned the place is called Dave. Me and Dave, after the month, became very close friends. So I spent the first 3 days, a lot of the time at the kava bar, just meeting new people that were coming in and just having a really great time talking to people. And then the third day, this group of teenagers, kind of like teenagers, well, not teenagers, but, young adults, walk in, and something just, was in my head, just going, you gotta talk to these people. Gotta talk to them. So I ran over and I was like, hey, who are you? My name's Natalie, and, what are you guys doing? Turns out that night they were going to have a potluck at the community that they lived at. And so they invited me to come and eat there. And I ended up staying there the whole time I was in Hawaii. And I can't explain how connected I became to both people and Hawaii, to Pele, and thinking about it just makes me want to go back, because I miss everything about Hawaii. Straight away when I got there, I felt like I was at home. I felt so safe and so protected. Yet at the same time, Pele, um, the volcano goddess, she kicked my ass. Absolutely kicked my ass. I mean, she took me for a ride. It feels like Hawaii's the kind of place that if you have a lot of emotional baggage, you know, it's just gonna drag it out of you, and if you are not willing to deal with it, it's like fucking tough. So I did a lot of healing when I was in Hawaii too, but it was mostly just through the pure interaction with beautiful people and seeing the nature and amazing experience. And I've already decided that I'm going back next year as early as possible. I miss everyone. I made a serious family, like, with these people I met. One of them, Marissa, moved to Alaska, moved back home. So I might go see her next year in Alaska. That would be very cool. And the rest of them stayed. And I can't wait to see them again. Hawaii was fantastic. And, we hitchhiked around the island the last week I was there. Homeless pretty much the whole time. That was also really amazing experience to wander around not knowing where you're going to sleep that night. And in Hawaii, it's become illegal for people to be sleeping outdoors, which is ridiculous. But I can understand, you know. So trying to protect yourself from being caught by the cops was kind of it was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty intense, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was broke most of the time. Somehow managed through having amazing people around me, and there's just an abundance of foods and love, and so you manage. Now, when I left Hawaii, sad face, I was meant to go to LA. Changed plans and decided to go visit my family in South Africa, and that's where I am now. I am in South Africa visiting my family and, having an amazing time here, just reconnecting with everyone. And yeah, have a few things coming up. I'm going to see Lady Gaga tomorrow at the concert. I don't know what's worse. I'm going to go see Lady Gaga. I'm really excited about that. But the person that plays before, I don't know what you call that, but the person that plays before is The Darkness. And I remember being young and listening to that song, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and I used to love that song. I used to think it was so funny. And now I'm gonna see them live, and I think it's like really hilarious. I'm almost more excited about that than seeing Lady Gaga. Anyhow, and then me and my little brother are getting tattooed together on Sunday, and I'm really excited about that. So, a few things coming up. Yeah, but I think the most important thing and the most valuable thing with the trip that I've made is the shift that has happened inside. The shift into the present moment. The awareness of myself instead of associating who I am with my thoughts and my physical being, which I've pretty much been doing my whole life. So the shift it's been a beautiful one for me. And I'm very appreciative of that. I can't explain the way that I feel about life now. There are so many things that I went through on my trip that have changed. They haven't changed me. I think the change has been realizing that it's only my costume that changes. Like, I'm always the same. I'm always the same thing. I'm always consciousness. I'm always the awareness of myself, but my costume is forever changing, and reconnecting again with my own light, and it's been a fantastic experience, and I can't possibly put it into words. I wish I could. I wish I could share what I've been through with everyone. I'm happy. But I'm very happy and filled with bliss and joy and excitement. But I'm present here and now. And it makes me so glad. Because it's been tough. It's been really hard. A lot of the healing, it's taken a lot to get through it. And I'm not done. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like I'm done. I have a lot of things that I need to heal still. But at least I'm aware of them. And I'm not ignoring them. I'm not trying to lie to myself and pretend like there isn't stuff. I know there is. But it's only through the now and my awareness of them that I can fix them. So, having said all that, I'm very excited about life and this upcoming shift globally. It has also been so visible on my travels that people are awakening to a truth within themselves everywhere, and it is so beautiful. And I'm so blessed to have been a part and seen the transformation in people. Like, not only have I seen the transformation in myself, and other people have seen it too, I get to experience the blossoming of humanity. Like, what what a blessing to be conscious and alive at this time. I'm gonna stop talking. Sometimes I feel like I do too much of it. I'm going to leave you all with love and a moment of silence where I'm going to close my eyes and send my love to you.